What's up, all you beautiful people? Welcome to another episode. So Anuj and I were just having a off-camera conversation where the camera was rolling. We're talking about a creator who has, a nearly 1 million person audience, and he's struggling to monetize. And what this episode's all about is some of the reasons, the mental blocks, why creators, why artists, and why entrepreneurs, like truthfully, why most people struggle to make money. It's not actually the mechanics of the process. It's something a little bit deeper, a little bit more insidious. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. You want to leave it on the table by intention and say, I'm choosing to do it this way. I know there's better ways to monetize it, but this is in alignment with the creative process or the thing that I want to build. Like, if you want to build a solo business that does $1 million a year and you have a 1 million person audience, that's fine. Like, that's the constraint that you've given yourself, which is, I don't want to have any employees. I want to keep overhead small and low, and I only want to work a couple of hours a week, right? So yeah, okay, you're going to leave a lot of money on the table, but you're doing it with intention. Whereas with a Nicholas, I don't know his situation, obviously, so I can only speculate from the outside. It feels like there's a little bit of justification and rationalization that he goes through that gets him to that same place. Yeah. But I don't think that it's actually, my guess, because I've seen it enough times, is it's an insecurity that's causing him to justify and rationalize and therefore leave the money on the table. I see. Yeah. And I say that I've seen this a lot because creatives inherently do this. There's like this push and pull between like the creative spirit and monetization where they're like, oh, I don't want to do this. And this is the starving artist meme. And so starving artists are really good at about like lying to themselves about why they choose to leave the money on the table rather than acknowledging, oh, it's an insecurity, it's a fear, it's whatever. But it actually has, like, if you were to objectively look at it and you're like, okay, if you didn't have those fears and insecurities, would your life be better or worse with more money? And it's like, for most people, the answer is your life will be better with more money. Until you get to a certain threshold, then it's like the marginal utility of another dollar is practically zero. That doesn't really happen until like 10, 15 million. Like, maybe you could say 5, 6 million. Yeah. But like, that's the point where suddenly it's like somebody's life isn't going to be measurably impacted by more money. But up to that point, pretty much everybody would be benefited by having more. Yeah. Because... And somebody might have like different costs of living. They might like, oh, I don't need 10 million. You're like, okay, maybe it's only 5 million. But like, it's probably within that range because if you're going to live, say, another 50 years and there's going to be all sorts of health things or crazy stuff that happens and you want to have like the financial security, like your life would just be better to know that all your bases are covered into perpetuity. So pretty much every creative, if they're not at that level, if all things being equal, he had to say, do you want your current circumstances with this amount of money, or would you like your current circumstances with 10x that money? It's like, you should take the money. Like, the money is not a bad thing. It's a helpful tool. And even if you just end up giving it away, like using it for purposes that like give back to the community, let's say, then sweet. Like, you're still better off. Like, the world is still better off having you have that more money because now you're deploying it to help people. Great. But like a lot of creatives, artists, they convince themselves that more money isn't the solution. That's not going to help them, that their life won't be impacted. And it's like, because they carry this baggage, this fear that money is evil, they have these limiting beliefs around the money itself and what it represents to them. Or are you a sellout then because you're monetizing and commoditizing maybe your art? Yeah. And it's like, there's just so much baggage that people have around that stuff. But if you really just like were objectively to look at, would you be better off being a well-paid artist or a poor artist? It's like, you'd be better off being well-paid. So like, okay, let's just remove the baggage then, because the money is just a tool. It doesn't come with any inherent baggage. You're the one that's like taking that tool, putting it inside your baggage, and it's like, you put it inside this trash bag. Yeah, that's a shitty baggage that you put money into. You could take that same thing, you could put it into a really cool backpack. You could put it into a briefcase. You could put it into a Hermes bag, right? Like, you choose the baggage that you put money into. And it's the same with everything in life. Like, everything just is what it is. And the meaning that you associate with it is due to what you place it within, the container that you give it, how you define it. And I think that's actually a really helpful mindset too, to always realize if you have limiting beliefs or negative impressions or emotions around something, whether that's, losing weight, like body positivity was a big thing in the last, 15 years or so, but it skewed very much to the point where people rationalize being obese as being healthy. And it's like, no, you can be body positive. You can love your body and it's beautiful and great and wonderful. But let's not mistake that. Like, you do have higher risks and you have higher things, right? And so, but they put that baggage of the idea of being at this weight versus, or this idea of being at this weight and this weight, and they package it within baggage. Yeah. Right. And so that's the easiest way to change your perception of the thing. This is like Shakespeare said, a thing is neither good or bad, but thinking makes it so. The thinking makes it so. That's the baggage that you put inside, and that's money, and that's what most artists, and that's why you have these people who are maybe really good at building audiences, not so good at monetizing it. I think generally the reason that those creators struggle to monetize isn't because business is particularly difficult and they can't figure out how to create a product that people actually want. Because if you're a good creator, you instinctively understand human psychology on a deeper level than most people do. You understand how to get attention, how to convert that attention, how to retain that attention. That's all business is. And then driving people towards an outcome. And so that's not really the problem in a lot of cases. It's more about that creator's inherent block that they have around making the money, making the course, making that product, whatever the thing is. Or then they put their time and energy towards the wrong thing. So Nicholas might be a good example of this. I don't know. Again, I don't know how he's making his money, but if he's only making $300,000, $400,000 a year, but he has a 1 million person audience, and from all accounts, it seems like a very eager audience that wants what he has and wants more of it, then the problem is that he's focusing his attention towards the wrong vehicles. So he might be over here, like we talked about before, doing side projects for big brands, BMW, commercials, stuff like that, like feature films, whatever. Those might be fulfilling for him, and maybe that is what he wants to go and do long term. But he also talked about wanting to build this course, and honestly, that course would easily make him $1 million, easily, right? Within the launch, structure that thing correctly, easy peasy. But he's been making it for 3 years, and it's you could have made $1 million 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, today. At any point you could do it, but the longer he waits to do it, the less valuable that vehicle, that packaging becomes, just because the people have the same problem, but they don't want to wait. Think about the guy who 3 years ago wanted to learn videography and filmmaking and wanted to bust through. Has he been sitting on the sidelines waiting for this course to finally launch so he could finally do this thing, or did he go and he learn it and apply it? And now he's to a level where he's sweet, yeah, it worked. So when the course launches, he's I don't really need that anymore. So you didn't serve the person that was following you from the beginning, that wanted your help because XYZ, a number of reasons. Who knows what they are? And I'm projecting because I don't know his situation, but just in my experience, that's the main reason why artists and creators struggle to monetize, make money.